Hello to everyone. I'm just going to do my rounds. I'm going to do some walking. I'm going to get a couple miles in. I've neglected it for a few days, but that happens sometimes. A glorious sunrise we have today. Isn't it? So today is the 110th birthday of my grandfather Joe. He was born 19th of March, 1915. And according to Catholic tradition, he was named after Saint Joseph, because today is Saint Joseph's Day in the Catholic world. So his name was Joseph. First off, he is my father's father, my dad's dad. So naturally, when my father died, my grandfather Joe really stepped in as pretty much like a second father to me. He probably was going through a lot because not only did he lose his son, but his wife, my Nona, pretty much lost it after my father died. So he had a lot on his plate. My poor grandmother, she's in perfect health, but her health went and declined so quickly after my dad died, which is understandable. I mean, my father was her youngest son, kind of like the prince of the family in a way. So my grandfather had a lot on his plate. My grandfather, Joe, is, because he's still here. I feel him all the time. My grandfather, Joe, was a very, very, how would you say it? He was he was perplexing. He had many sides to him. He had a side which was hardworking. I mean, he worked in any job he could get. Eventually, he ended up in the coal mines in Wimber. But he would scrub the toilets at the school. And the people at the school would comment to everybody about how well my grandfather did his job. Even what a lot of people would have thought was a lowly job, bottom of the barrel, my grandfather did it, and he did it well. Even if he had to scrub toilets, he did that job like nobody else. They were the cleanest toilets you'd ever want to find. So that is the type of man he was, that when he did something well. And when he made his pennies, he made sure that he did the best job he could for those pennies. My grandfather had a wonderful laugh. I loved my grandpa's smile. His smile went from ear to ear. He always wore a hat. He liked fedoras. He liked caps. He loved his hats. He went bald at a young age. My grandfather people said that he had the most beautiful blonde hair. It was like a reddish blonde. And he had a thick head of hair when he was young. But then as he got older, he pretty much lost it all. So he wore hats. He wore a lot of hats. Now, he was really good to me. He would always have something for me to do. My little toys or play, and fish. Always taking me out to get fish. Fried fish. What a good memory. Still to this day, I can't look at a plate of fish and chips and not think of him. So, Grandpa was he was a great guy. When he was young, he worked hard and he played hard. And what I mean by that is that he worked hard and he played hard. He loved his cigarettes. He loved his snuff. My grandfather would smoke cigarettes and put a dip in his lip at the same time. Loved his wine. He liked his drink. But he had to give that up earlier in life. He loved having butter bread every morning for breakfast. I can remember him shaving and using Noxzema. He used Noxzema, and to this day, every time I smell Noxzema, I think of Grandpa, and I remember how smooth his face was when I would touch it after he shaved. Yeah. He used to sit for hours and hours because he didn't want to pay for garbage bags. So he would take his papers and stuff and cut them into little strips. He would just tear them into little strips so that they fit into the garbage and didn't take up much space. He would sit there literally for hours. He saved any kind of a can. He'd go out with a bag of cans and just stomp them until they were so thin. And then he put them in a bag. Oh. Remember when I would stay with him, my grandfather would go, and at night before we would go off to bed, on the gas burner, he would check every gas burner twice to make sure that it was off. He was very well loved by his family, his sisters, his brothers. Yeah, he was very well loved by all who knew him. He could be a shithead. He had a temper. And A couple times me and him did get into some pretty crazy fights, but it was okay. Remember one time me and him got into such a horrible fight over I don't know what. I called my Granny Violet up and I said, please come and get me from this horrible place. But Grandpa was stubborn, and so am I. He's a great, great man. I loved when he used to take me into the woodland for mushrooms. He would always take me into the woodland for mushrooms. Him and I would go mushroom hunting. And the time we went fishing and we caught a turtle. And my grandfather wanted to take it home and cook it into turtle soup. Well, of course, I had a fit. I was screaming and yelling, you're not going to hurt the little turtle. You're not going to hurt the little turtle. So those are some of my great, great memories of my grandfather, Joseph. And today would have been his 110th birthday. So I just wanted to share you the little story of Joseph, my grandfather. I'll leave you be. Slunka full. Bye, 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 bye.